Hello, my name is Dwight. I'm the director of King County's Office of Performance Strategy and Budget, and we're here today to talk about the county's 2017 and 2018 budget. King County uses a biennial budget, or a two-year budget, and so we're actually preparing now for a budget that will last us for 2 years, 2017 and 2018. King County's budget is actually not a single budget. It's made up of over 100 different funds, and unlike businesses and households, we usually don't have the flexibility to move money from one fund to another. So when we're preparing a budget, we're actually looking at budgets for 100 different functions that are pretty much self-contained within those functions. The King County overall budget for the 2017-2018 biennium is expected to be almost $10 billion. So a very large amount of money split among all of those funds. The budget process is currently underway. We have received proposals from agencies. King County Executive Dow Constantine will be making his budget decisions in August and September and will present a proposed budget to the County Council on September 26th. The County Council will review that budget, make its adjustments, and adopt a final budget in mid to late November. As we look ahead to the next biennium, most of the county's funds are in very good shape due to the strong economy and good financial management. So, for example, our Metro Transit Division, our Wastewater Treatment Division, our Solid Waste Division, King County's Airport, and many of our human services functions are adequately funded and will actually be able to be adding services for our residents. However, there are 3 of our funds that have major financial challenges for 2017 and 2018. The first of these is the county's general fund. This is the traditional services of a county government, things like public safety, elections, and property assessments. King County's general fund budget is about $1.5 billion for a biennium. And as we sit here today, it appears that the revenue we will collect in 2017 and 18 is about $50 million less than the cost of continuing current services. So we are looking for some revenue sources, but mostly we're going to have to be looking at reducing costs in order to balance our budget. About 3/4 of the general fund is spent on public safety expenditures, things like the sheriff's office, the courts, the prosecutor, public defense, and the jail. It is unavoidable that many of the budget cuts are going to come in those functions, which are going to lead to less efficiency and fewer services for people who are victims of crime. As we prepare balancing the general fund budget, we are looking at a variety of other ideas, but we don't have the tools available to avoid those kind of budget reductions. The general fund has a financial problem for 3 different reasons. The first is that under Washington state law, county governments can only impose sales taxes and property taxes for their general fund. And there are very significant limitations in state law on those revenue sources. So we really don't have the flexibility to generate additional revenue from those sources. Secondly, the state is requiring King County to shift some costs from another fund back to the general fund, which further exacerbates the budget challenge. And finally, for the 2015-2016 budget, the current biennium, we used some one-time resources that won't be available in the future. Hence, we face about a $50 million budget gap in our general fund. The second fund with financial challenges is the Public Health Fund. This fund provides public health services such as epidemiology, looking to prepare us for viruses such as the Zika virus, public health clinics, and a variety of other functions. Public health is chronically underfunded because of reductions in state and federal funds. The federal government has reduced its funding for public health over the years, and the state government has not increased its funding for public health for 15 years. And as a result, with rising costs, the public health department has to reduce its services gradually over time. We think the problem for 2017 and 2018 is relatively modest, but by 2019, if we don't get some new solution, we're going to have very significant reductions in public health. The final fund with financial challenges is our Roads Fund that provides services in the unincorporated areas of King County. In other words, areas that are outside of cities. The Roads Fund is responsible for maintaining a very elaborate road infrastructure, but no longer has the tax base in order to support it. Much of the tax base was in areas that are now included in cities, and roads only gets revenue from the unincorporated area. So its revenue has gone significantly down while its responsibilities have hardly changed. As a result, our roads infrastructure is gradually deteriorating due to lack of maintenance, and we're getting to the point where we're actually closing roads and bridges when they fail because we don't have the resources to maintain them. For 2017 and 2018, we don't expect any new reductions in road services functions, but we know that the maintenance is going to continue to be inadequate and the infrastructure will continue to deteriorate even more. Again, we're in the middle of the budget process. The executive will present his budget on September 26th, and the council will adopt a budget in mid to late November.